Greetings, Missouri Mid-South Conference. I bring you greetings from the Rocking Holiday Inn in Springdale, Arkansas, where our Associate Conference Minister, Dale Parson, and I will be meeting with our two Marshallese churches that are located here in Springdale, Arkansas. We indeed will be gathering at our table to learn more about each other and introduce myself as the new conference minister. I am extremely excited about being in this new space and being welcomed by our Marshallese churches. In many ways, what we are doing together, both here in Arkansas and in Missouri and in Memphis, Tennessee, is all about how we are gathering at our table. And I've been using this as our ministry theme in subtle ways and overt ways throughout worship as I worship with different churches and different settings. And I use it because there is a theological component of what we do, the table representing the presence of God, both in our worship elements, but also in our stories from Jesus, that Jesus teaches us that when we come to the table, we do so to worship, to eat, to pray, to fuss, to love. And so I wanted to share today a few things that we're doing in the conference that are in many ways gathering at our table. This afternoon, your staff, the Missouri Mid-South Conference staff, gathered at our office table, even though it was on conference call, for our monthly staff meeting. Woohoo! Which was a wonderful time in which we talked about the nuts and bolts of our different ministries and the different settings of the conference. Some folks may think that this is kind of dry and nothing that anyone wants to really participate in, but please know that as we met, we held all of the churches, all of the Chisholm organizations, all of the ministers, all of the members of the Missouri Mid-South Conference in our thoughts and in our spirits as we gathered at our table so that we could provide the professional and the spiritual support for all of you in the Missouri Mid-South Conference. On Saturday, I will be representing you at the Gateway ONA Affirming Convocation in St. Louis, which is a wonderful time in which our churches that are open and affirming, but also those individuals who the churches may not be open and affirming, but are interested in those places where we are inclusive and social justice concerns, especially for those who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. And so we will be meeting in St. Louis at Parkway UCC, and I will be offering one of the workshops of many workshops, and I'll be talking about how we integrate marriage equality into our churches and into our communities, with the celebration that same-sex marriage is now legal in all 50 states, and that we offer this hospitality to all of our brothers and sisters who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender and questioning. Then the question becomes, how do we do that with integrity? How do we truly integrate marriage equality into our churches and into our communities? And a part of what I will say is that this is not just for the churches that are open and affirming. This is something that we all need to be wrestling with. And so we will be gathering at our radical hospitality, inclusive presence table with Gateway ONA Convocation. At the same time that we will be meeting in St. Louis, just down the road in Jefferson City, Missouri, we will be having a New Beginnings training that Reverend Dale Parson will be leading and coordinating, and our 6 UCC churches that are in the New Beginnings process will be gathering at the table through conversation, through teaching, and through collaboration and preparation for what does this look like to have a conversation in our local churches about the life journey of that church? Is the church going to continue to live, or do we need to offer with dignity and integrity and compassion different ways of looking at the possibility of death, life, and life anew? And so I celebrate that in Jefferson City that our churches are gathering at the table to have honest and important conversations about new beginnings and new life and the presence of God in that space of that ministry. One of the things that we've been doing this week that I wanted to share, that we have indeed been gathering at our table. I have been working with the Justice and Witness Covenanted Ministry team as we have been developing a press release in response to, in St. Louis, the Catholic diocese has come out with a statement that is advocating all of its Catholic parishes to do away with their Girl Scout troops in their churches because, as they say, the Girl Scout troops reflect certain social issues, and those issues are the Girl Scouts have supported transgender youth. The Girl Scouts have supported reproductive rights. The Girl Scouts have supported, as they are teaching girls and young women how to lead and how to serve in their communities, just as the Boy Scouts do, they are also supporting women throughout their lives. And so as the Catholic diocese has made this decision, we in the Missouri Mid-South Conference want to offer another presence that says that we welcome the Girl Scout troops of St. Louis to gather at our table and to know that they are welcome in our churches, in places that where they may not have been welcomed before or since this new ruling has come out. So that's an important piece that we have been working also with the St. Louis Association Council to see if there are churches in St. Louis that might be willing to open their doors to a Girl Scout troop that has been abandoned or told that they are no longer welcome in their church. This, in a couple of weeks, I also want to share about a gathering at the table ministry that will be happening, and that will be in Columbia, Missouri, where all of our Committee on Ministry will meet for our Committee on Ministry, Covenanted Ministry retreat. And we will have a representative from the National Church come and talk about this issue of the emerging church, as we were talking last year about ministry and the different alternative paths and what that looks like. This year we'll be looking at how that plays out in the local churches, especially in our different associations and committees on ministry. This is important because we are gathering at our table in discerning how, as our churches are changing and our clergy are coming to us in lots of different ways, how we can gather at God's table with responsibility of making sure that those who are leading us are spiritually and theologically trained and grounded in the good news of God's love. And so I share all of this to say that as we talk about and as we celebrate gathering at the table which is God's presence in all of the ways in which we come together, is very important. And I thank you for the ministries that we continue to do in so many ways that reminds me that where two or three are gathered, especially in the United Church of Christ, you are welcome here. And God's love is an extravagant hospitality in which Jesus has taught us that through food, through teaching, through worship, through fussing, and through love, the table is welcome for all. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you soon.